Welcome to Dear Diaspora, a podcast celebrating the African diaspora and the changemakers, innovators, and entrepreneurs working to make our world a better one to live in. I'm your host, Ndulwa Koa. Let's get started. Dear Diaspora fam, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. This is episode 40. I cannot believe we're already at 40 episodes. I've been podcasting since September of last year and just have really enjoyed getting to know people, connecting with folks across the African diaspora, and just really sharing their stories and amplifying their work. It's been really incredible, and I thank you all for tuning in every week, for spreading the word about the show, sharing it with friends and family. It just means so much, and I am just so excited to continue to do this. So we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and wherever you're listening from, I hope that you're safe and that you're doing okay and just doing all that you can to take care of yourself and to take care of your family. What's really interesting about this time is, we're still fighting this pandemic, but at the same time, we're fighting the other pandemic, which is racial injustice and racial inequality, specifically here in the US, but then also just globally. And what's been really inspiring these past few weeks is how, as a country and really globally, we're just being more thoughtful and intentional about buying Black, funding Black, hiring Black, and just really working towards correcting lots of economic inequalities. And so there's certainly no shortage of Black-owned businesses to support now and just moving forward. And if you haven't already caught up on Dear Diaspora episodes, be sure to listen back to some old episodes that feature entrepreneurs and nonprofit founders living here in the US and around the world. Be sure to check them out and support the work that they're doing and spread the word about the incredible work that they're doing. I am so excited to introduce today's guest. So you are going to be hearing from the founders of the new home to the most innovative, melanin-focused, independent brands of the African diaspora. So Yard and Parish founders Alesha and Samantha spent time studying and working in the UK, and they were inspired to just have a go at solving a global cultural issue. So until now, it really hasn't been simple or straightforward to find or buy from ethnic designers, or even to buy chemical-free products for afro hair and skin unless you live in specific neighborhoods. So they recognized that this was an issue everywhere for women of color. So they founded this brand, and they aspire to be the most accessible one-stop shop for our generation. I cannot wait for y'all to listen to this conversation. Without further ado, here is my chat with Alesha Bailey and Samantha Newell. Alesha and Samantha, thank you so much for being guests on Dear Diaspora. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Looking forward to learning more about the great work that you guys are doing with Yard and Parish. Could we get started by just getting to know you both a bit more? Like, where are you from and where did you grow up?
Yep, so we are both from Ontario, Canada, just a little bit outside of Toronto. And we grew up here and moved to London, England for university in 2013. And so we launched Yard and Parish in July of 2019 as a London-based online shop.
Wow, that's awesome. And why London for school? Like, what inspired you to go there?
For me, it was just the thought that there was value in creative work. In North America specifically, when you go to post-secondary education, there's a heavy focus on academics and not very much value placed on art school. So that was intriguing for me. What about you, Sam?
Yeah, same thing. So the universities in Canada, sort of fashion related or arts related courses are kind of very vague and generic. Whereas when we started applying to universities in Europe, we noticed how niche and specific you could really get within the arts. So I actually went in to study fashion pattern cutting and also a fashion business creation master's. Those kind of courses we wouldn't find here in Toronto.
Oh, wow. Wow,
Hmm.
that is super niche, but that's great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. And could you both speak a little bit more to what it was like growing up in Toronto as like Black women? Like, what was that like for you?
Um, well, in Toronto, I mean, it is a very culturally diverse place. So you see a lot of different faces here, which I found um, very different to um, my formative years in Brooklyn, New York. Um, when I was about 9 to 12, I was in school there while my mom was um, doing her own education. And yeah, there was a very big difference in that idea of a melting pot versus a salad bowl that they teach you about cultural diversity. I went to a school where it was mainly African American students in Brooklyn,
Mm.
which was a stark difference to how we grew up in Canada in a very culturally diverse setting.
Mm.
Um, I found that in Canada, people don't really talk about cultural diversity very much, just because it's self-evident and you see it every day. So I think that we're a little bit more desensitized to that kind of environment.
Wow. And how about you, Samantha? Was your experience similar?
Yeah, we grew up very in close proximity, so I had a very similar experience as well. I didn't live in the States at any point, but yeah, growing up, I always had an extremely diverse group of friends. Um, but at the same time, there was kind of being a Black woman or a Black girl. I was sort of a minority in that sense at school. And growing up, I don't think I ever experienced any racial tension as such. It's a bit more lighthearted here than I guess the stories you hear in the States.
Mm.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think you're the first guests I've spoken with based in Toronto. So I was just a bit curious
Hmm.
about what it's like for you living there and working there and, how it was growing up. So thank you both
Hmm.
for that. And so, could we dive into Yard and Parish? What inspired you guys to get started with it?
Okay, yeah. So when we were in London, I think we were just overwhelmed by the amount of inspiration there was visually, the opportunities there, the diverse people we were meeting. Um, we've always known that we wanted to kind of build an enterprise together, and our time studying and working in London really solidified what that would look like. Um, so after coming out of my master's in fashion business, um, Alesha had already moved back to Toronto, um, but we worked together remotely and built the concept of Yard and Parish, which was inspired by both our Caribbean and African heritage and the kind of unseen luxuries that come with that, as opposed to the stereotypes.
Mm.
Um, and also, we were inspired by the fact that it was difficult to actually shop for our hair types based on the location that we were in the city. We had to kind of take a long trip to get to the Afro hair shop, which was owned by Asians actually. So even getting advice on what might be a good product did not come from the shop owners or the staff. It came from YouTube. So just having those sort of experiences in the retail atmosphere and not seeing ourselves represented caused us to investigate and research what Black-owned brands had the same mindset that we did, and how can we kind of form a collective or a community where everything is available in the same space.
Yeah, and the shopping experience is the same for everyone, so no one gets the short end of the stick.
Wow, love it. That is so awesome. And when you guys were kind of thinking through launching Yard and Parish, did you see similar efforts out there? Like, did you see other platforms or marketplaces that featured these products, or not really?
There are some, but not a lot. I've found that there's more directories for Black-owned businesses than actual marketplaces.
Mm-hmm. Or those marketplaces would be seasonal.
Yeah, those seasonal brick and mortar type of marketplaces, kind of pop-ups. But not as much access through online shopping, which was a big deal for me specifically. Just being able to buy your favorite Black-owned products online as opposed to having to wait until the Christmas market or having to wait until the Black History Month market to get what you need.
Wow. Wow, that is so awesome, and I love what you guys have on your website. You want to be the most accessible one-stop shop for our generation. That's super powerful. And so what sort of products can people find on the Yard and Parish website or marketplace?
So it's everything from fashion to beauty and lifestyle. We have fashion accessories like silk scarves, handbags, and then we have
jewelry as well.
And then we also have beauty products from hair to skincare that are catering to people of color and more textured hair types. And as well in our lifestyle category, we have homewares like candles, incense, diffusers, things like that. And then we're also including more home decor as well throughout this year.
What's important to note also is the items that we carry are aimed at catering to people of color. So we also carry lingerie and tights, for example, in a range of darker skin tone shades to make sure that we have easy access to those nude products that you might not find everywhere in the shops. And we do also have a focus on chemical-free and toxin-free ingredients in the products as well. I find that very important because there are a lot of products that claim to be geared towards the Afro hair market, but are not really healthy for our hair. So that's something that we're really particular about.
Wow, absolutely. That's so important. And so how do you find these amazing designers? Like, how do you find them and learn more about their products and kind of get them on board to be a part of your marketplace?
Yeah, it really is case by case. So in some cases, brands have reached out to us to be a part of the platform. And in other cases, we've just really scoured the internet and reached out to brands. So we have quite a close relationship with the vendors that we work with, and understand very well what their mission is and make sure their values align with ours. So it's been quite a journey and a great experience actually meeting these like-minded entrepreneurs.
So if someone, lands on your website and they order something, who's taking care of all the logistics and the shipping? Is that the vendors, or are you also a part of that?
Yeah, so the Yard and Parish team will process the orders, but to kind of keep the carbon footprint down, we've enabled our vendors to ship directly to customer.
Awesome.
Yeah, which I think is actually great because some of our vendors are small, they're small independent brands, and being able to operate from home, especially during this time, has been very, very beneficial for us as well as a business.
Mm,
Mhm.
absolutely. And could you speak more to how this global pandemic has impacted your business? Like, how are you guys doing? And have you had to shift anything or pivot in any way?
I think we're mainly um, pivoting in our sales priority, um, and how we're marketing to our consumer. Um, just spending a lot more time connecting with our customers on a personal level, as opposed to trying to push products. Um, this is a time where everybody is looking to stay connected with the outside world in some shape or form. So we have definitely had to um, increase our personal presence on social media, and offer more um, like blog articles and advice and tips and tricks for keeping your spirits up. So it's been a lot more about the emotional um,
Connection.
connection with our customers than any kind of sales or marketing.
That's great that you're able to use this time to develop, maybe some deeper connections and engage more with your customers. That's so important to do during this time, because I'd say consumers are looking for that from the brands that they love and follow.
Yeah, I just want to know that you care and that you are going through the same things that they're going through right now, and
Um,
just get through it
what,
together.
what's also been nice is in that same way, we've been able to connect with other entrepreneurs more so, as majority of us are at home and are going through the same situation. So it's been really fun. We've had Instagram live sessions weekly, where we've met with um, inspirational Black women, entrepreneurs, musicians, all sorts. We've been able to connect with them, and just really establishing sort of what the Yard and Parish lifestyle is all about.
And
Mm-hmm.
for you guys, what's your advice to other entrepreneurs or Black women entrepreneurs who are, maybe having a hard time because of this pandemic?
I would say it's a great time to focus on your business practices and really um, hone in on each and every process in your system. Um, just, yeah, focus more on time management, prioritizing, and keeping yourself in order and organized and just staying ready for when things do eventually get back to normal.
And for you both, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned so far as entrepreneurs?
For myself, I would say the biggest lesson I've learned is the power of community, and that means the power of building a loyal customer base, the power of connecting and building relationships with mentors and other entrepreneurs. And we have this ecosystem where we can help each other, bounce ideas off each other, and support each other. And that's kind of the biggest thing I've learned. And it's something that will help us to push through this dark time that we're having all over the world, and thrive together eventually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think for me, it has been to not compare yourself to other companies, to not compare your success to other companies, and to really appreciate how much you've grown from where you began.
Wow. Those are
True.
both super powerful. Community is super important. I'd say I'm starting to really learn and like realize that. And then also what you mentioned about not comparing yourself to others. That is, it's so true.
That's a big one.
Yes, yes.
For me specifically, especially with social media, it's just constantly watching the highlights of other people's lives. So to really focus on your own highlights and appreciate your growth and your development.
Absolutely. And like being able to understand that you are in a different place, and so you can't compare yourself to, you know, someone
Exactly.
who's like a few steps ahead. Like you'll
Mm-hmm.
get there, but you just can't compare your journeys really. Wow. Yeah, thank you both for that. And
Mm-hmm.
where do you see Yard and Parish in the next 5 years?
Um, I see Yard and Parish really fulfilling its mission to become a household name,
Mm-hmm.
and really live up to its name of being the one-stop shop and the number one destination where people of color, all people, who love our products and love the way we curate, our collections, will think of us first and come to shop with us. There's kind of endless potential that we see. Of course, it's our baby. But yeah, I would just say stay tuned.
Love it. I mean, from what I've seen, it looks like you guys are making great progress, especially because you said you launched last July.
Yes.
Yes, so hasn't
Wow.
been a year yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh
Still
yeah.
young.
Mm-hmm.
Totally, totally. Yeah, it'll be super exciting to see you guys in the next couple years for sure. Because I would say just globally, people are being more thoughtful about like the types of products that they use, and people are just more thoughtful. And I feel like your brand aligns with that for sure. So you're definitely
Yeah.
headed in the right direction. And if you guys could have started all over, like what would you have done differently?
I think we would have asked for help much earlier, in terms of mentorships and consultants and people who are experts in different aspects of our business. Um, yeah, never be afraid to ask for help. Never be afraid to put yourself out there and try to learn as much as possible, um, as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And as a business, what would you say your biggest need is? Like, are you looking primarily for like more mentorship, or are you looking for like investors? Like what is your one of your biggest business needs at the moment?
Actually, our biggest need right now is just to connect with more and more brands faster.
Yeah.
That's it. Build the community faster. That's what we're after.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, hopefully people listening to this spread the word, and people are able to get in touch with you about working together some more. So that would be exciting to see. And for you guys, what would you say being a part of the diaspora means to you?
Uh, for me, it's being part of a global consciousness. People talk about Pan-Africanism or kind of like ethnic solidarity, but I look at it as a global family, just an instinctual connection between us. We kind of, no matter what, coming from the African diaspora, we have the same sensibilities and same practices that are passed down through generations. So yeah, it's a celebration of our singular heritage for me.
And for me, I'd say being as part of the diaspora, I feel that it's a duty to learn more about Black culture globally, because we are such a colorful demographic. There's so many different elements to what it means to be Black. So I can share my experience growing up in a Jamaican household, and I'm excited to be on a journey learning more about other Black cultures.
Mm-hmm. Discover the diaspora.
Love it. Love it. Wow. Yeah. You both just put that so well. And it's great to be able to connect with folks all around the world and be able to kind of have these same conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely appreciate being able to get to know you both a bit more and spread the word about Yard and Parish. Is there anything else that you'd like listeners to know or about Yard and Parish before we kind of wrap up?
I would say that Yard and Parish is all about heritage. It's all about remembering your ancestry and keeping your family in your heart and in your lifestyle. Yeah, it's just about your culture being able to remain a part of your life no matter where you end up, no matter where you emigrate.
That's so beautiful and powerful. So thank you both for that. And I'll be sure to, drop all the links to your website and social media so people can just learn more about the really great work that you guys are doing. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. I hope that you guys enjoyed that episode. Be sure to shop Yard and Parish. You can go to www.yardandparish.com. You can also follow them on Instagram at Yard and Parish. And share this with a friend or two. Anyone that is looking to just learn more about incredible Black-owned businesses, this is definitely an episode to check out. So be sure to spread the word. And if you aren't already following the show on Instagram or on social media, be sure to find us at Dear Diaspora on Instagram and at Dear Diaspora Pod on Twitter. And if you're not already on the mailing list, be sure to join for a monthly newsletter that is curated by me, and it just features all things Dear Diaspora, current events, business resources, and just really inspiring content. So be sure to join the list to access that monthly newsletter. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.